From a valuation perspective, where a lot of it's just subjectivity and valuations an art, not a science, GAAP feels very rigid at times. So I wouldn't say there's any shortcuts, but what I would always kind of contemplate is materiality. And materiality is not a valuation issue. It's not, what your technical accountants would do. It's absolutely something that your auditors will determine, and that you have to get that kind of sign off from them. But if your inventory balance is fairly small relative to your purchase price and the overall balance sheet and even your PP&E, you probably don't need to worry too much about doing a fair value assessment on those. That being said, before you make that determination of, okay, I'm not going to value these items, you want to just make sure that your auditors are on board with that. The worst thing is to assume that, and then at the end, when they're looking at this, you're 2 weeks away from needing to issue your audit, and they're telling you you need to value the inventory, or there's an issue here with your PP&E, and it's just too big for us to accept that book value. So I think one of the key themes here is just make sure that as you're kind of making some of these decisions of how do you shortcut some of this, where do we kind of reduce our scope of work, that you're kind of keeping your auditors in the loop on the decisions that you're making, and that's part of the benefit in bringing in some outside help for your purchase accounting, is that we really kind of know some idea of what's going to possibly be material and where we can make some of those arguments on your behalf, to reduce that scope of work, and then have those conversations with you, with your auditors, in order to make sure that they're comfortable with that.